Forum for the municipal election to be held on November the 2nd, 2021. This nonpartisan event is sponsored by the Mint Hill Women's Club and is being live streamed due to COVID. We're having it on YouTube due to COVID. I am Suzanne Ellsbury, co-president of the League of Women Voters Charlotte-Mecklenburg and serving as the forum moderator. The League is a 100-year-old nonpartisan organization of men and women committed to protecting and empowering the vote. We have a long history of ensuring fair, nonpartisan candidate forums and debates and are extremely proud to participate this evening. The forum timekeeper this evening is Paige McKinney, Executive Director of the Mint Hill Chamber of Commerce. In a free democracy, it is vital for voters to choose their representatives and for candidates to make their positions available to voters. This evening's candidate forum is not only a sign of courtesy to voters, but also a sign of a healthy democratic process. We hope that you will gain the information you need this evening to determine your votes. And now to the format. The questions were submitted via email from the public. No question asked will be directed to only one candidate or ever be of a personal nature. The candidates are allowed 1-minute introductions of their candidacy before the questioning round begins. During the questioning, each candidate has 1 minute to answer questions which are the same for each candidate. For each question, I will rotate the order of candidates. The timekeeper will hold up a yellow card for the candidate answering after 30 seconds have passed, and a red card when the minute is up. After the red card, if a candidate exceeds their time for only a few seconds, it's allowed. However, if the time is exceeded, I'll have to interrupt. After the question round, candidates have 30 seconds for their closing comments. We ask that the time be used to summarize the issues already discussed and their vision for the position they seek. Voters on November the 2nd will choose 4 out of the 8 candidates running for a 2-year term. We thank the candidates present and regret that not all could attend. The candidates here tonight competing for the Mint Hill Board of Commissioners are Mayor Pro Tem Dale Dalton, Scott Fandel, Tawana Henderson, Commissioner Patrick Holton, Commissioner Tony Long, Richard Newton, and Rhonda Walker. We will begin the forum with the introductions by each candidate, and we'll start with Rhonda Walker. You have 1 minute, Rhonda.
Thank you for having me here this evening, Ms. Suzanne, and Mint Hill Women's Club. I will work to the best of my ability. I'm Rhonda Walker, running for Mint Hill Commissioner, and I will work to the best of my ability, upholding the laws and ordinances of this town and the state of North Carolina. I will work to make equitable decisions, being a bridge for all demographics. It is important to recognize that here in Mint Hill that our population is changing rapidly. I will help to find solutions, problems that coexist with rapid growth, changing demographics, and with my experience, I will help families, new families moving in. We have 25 square miles here in Mint Hill, and as commissioner, I plan to be a bridge for the new families and the old families. If you choose me as commissioner, just know that you'll get a hard-working individual.
Thank you, Rhonda. And next we go to Commissioner Patrick Holton.
Hi, I'm Patrick Holton, Commissioner here. This has been my first term. Again, thank you to the Mint Hill Women's Club for hosting this event again. As I said 2 years ago, one thing is accessibility. And I think I've offered a new bit of accessibility in these 2 years with having a business right up the road. I'm there every day. I can't run and hide. And that's what I've seen. I've had a lot of residents come in to talk to me that had concerns, looking for answers. If I'm elected to another 2-year term, I'll continue with our 10-year land use development plan with controlling growth and business growth within this town. Thank you.
Thank you. And next, Mayor Pro Tem Dale Dalton.
I'd like to also thank the Women's Club for having this, and Suzanne for the League of Women's Voters. Thank you so
Happy
much
to
for
be
being
here.
here. I'm Dale Dalton, running for my 4th term as a commissioner. I've really enjoyed being the Mayor Pro Tem this year. It has been a little bit of a challenge with the COVID. We've had to do a lot of things different, but with the assistance of our town administrators and manager, we have been able to do a lot better job as far as getting out. We've been able to have our meetings. I would love to be reelected to be able to go along with our 10-year plan to see it mature and develop.
Thank you, Dale. And next we go to Tawana Henderson.
I'm Tawana Henderson, and I want to first thank the Mint Hill Women's Club for sponsoring this forum on this evening, to Madam Moderator, and to Paige McKinney with our illustrious chamber. Thank you for being here and for having us. I'm excited for the opportunity to run for commissioner for Mint Hill. I really believe that I want to be able to make a positive impact on our community. And I believe that we have to look for someone who has fresh eyes, fresh ideas, and fresh perspectives. I'm ready to be able to provide the leadership and direction of the future that Mint Hill has. There's a lot of things that's coming about with Mint Hill, and we definitely need proven leadership that can help to carry us to where we need to be. And so I'm excited for the opportunity.
Thank you, Tawana. And next we have Commissioner Tony Long.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank the voters that are tuned in tonight, as well as the League of Women Voters who allowed us to have this forum. I'm honored to have served the past 2 years as your commissioner, one of your commissioners. I live here, I work here, I volunteer here. I'm a small business owner. As Patrick mentioned, I'm available. I've invested 15 plus years on the Mint Hill Planning Board, and I will continue to serve all the people in Mint Hill if you reelect me. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have Richard Newton.
Thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate the Women's League of Voters for handling this project that we're working on tonight, and I hope everybody gets a whole lot out of it. I think it's a good thing for the voters to be able to see it live, which is fantastic, and they get to hear all the pros and cons either way, whatever way you want to be. I have been on the board for 6 years and in the past, so I have been there. I've done it. It just takes a long time to get a lot of things done. You can never finish everything you want to do in 2 years, so I think it's nice that we have a 2-year term, and sometimes you wish you could see some of the finishing if you don't get reelected. Thank you for the voters.
Thank you, Richard. And last but not least, we have Scott Fandel.
Thank you, and good evening to the Women's Club, and thank you for hosting this event. I know it's been a challenge to put this on with what we've had to deal with, but I appreciate your efforts. My name's Scott Fandel. I'm a native Charlottean that moved here 18 years ago with my family, my wife Pam and my sons Cooper and Gray. I'm also a local business owner. I'm also a 7-year member of the Planning Board. If elected, I work to continue to help with the excellent responders and the leadership we already have in place in the town. I know that we have growth coming, but I think with strong leadership, if we manage that growth properly, it can only benefit the town and the people of Mint Hill. I feel like my 37 years experience in construction and dealing with developers, NCDOT, Charlotte Water, and Mecklenburg County, can only benefit the town as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. And now we'll move into the round of the questions. And we'll start again with Ms. Walker. Rhonda, what separates you from the other candidates running for office? And could you be specific?
Well, we have some similarities. I'm a business owner here. I've been here for 17 years in Mint Hill. I've been a business owner full-time, health and wellness, for 13 years. So, but what separates us would be me being a female, me being a mother and also a wife. The 5 men, nothing wrong with them, that have been on the board may not understand what it is being a mother and a wife and having a family here. So that mainly would separate us here, the people here on the board currently. And hopefully with me, I can bring a little diversity as well with being a person of color, knowing that there is 20% people of color here in Mint Hill. So not only would I bring the wife, the mother, I would also bring the diversity aspect on the board.
Thank you, Rhonda. And next we go to Patrick Holton. Patrick, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, I got it.
Okay.
So one thing that makes me different is I'm not from here. I've made it very public. I'm not from here. I've been here just shy of 10 years. My experience from being in the military, I've had lots of travels and lived in lots of different places while I served. So I guess it brings me a little bit different insight with different towns and different communities that I've been in, that I can bring here to this town and look at things with a little bit different perspective. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have Dale Dalton. And Dale, what separates you from the other candidates?
Well, I think one thing we all do have in common is the love for this town, or we wouldn't be running. One of the things that separates me maybe is, as Patrick was saying, I'm not originally from Mint Hill either. I grew up in a town about the 10th the size of Mint Hill, so I'm very aware of small towns and how it works. And that's what we really want to keep doing. I have spent 6 years on here, 3 terms, and I have the experience, and I would like to see that. We've got a lot of things going on, a lot of things are still coming. Mint Hill has a lot of development coming into this area, and it's going to take some strong leadership to keep it at bay to where it is not overgrowth.
Thank you. And next, Twana, what separates you from the other candidates?
What separates me is first that I'm a lifelong public servant. I served 13 years as a civil magistrate judge. I've been a licensed attorney for 27 years. I've been a servant leader in my church for over 20 years. And so being a leader and being a servant leader is something I believe, a lifelong servant, I believe is something that separates me. It's going to be very important that we have a commissioner who has transferable skills that I bring as an attorney. As we're dealing with planners and developers, we're going to be able to have neat individuals who can advocate on behalf of Mint Hill and to be able to understand contracts and documents and all those kinds of things, who have proven leadership. And so I bring those skills. I think I bring some very different skills that the others may not have. That are going to be very important as we go into the future with Mint Hill, because there's a lot that's going to happen, and I think the heavy lifting that it's going to require is going to be strong leadership.
Thank you. And next, Tony, what separates you from the other candidates?
Great question, thank you. I've lived here 45 plus years, volunteered as a Chamber of Commerce leader for many of those years in the last 10 or 15. I'm a volunteer teacher here in Mint Hill, so I'm really passionate about education in our town. So the youth are the future. I've served as a volunteer in many roles. I serve on boards in Raleigh and Charlotte, so I feel like with our development coming, continuing, people want to live here, and I have the ability to stand back and ask some hard questions of folks that are wanting to locate businesses here and why. What's in it for Mint Hill?
Thank you. Moving on to Richard Newton.
I've lived here since 1992. I've served on the planning board for 2 years, commissioner for 6. I also am a member of Philadelphia Presbyterian Church. I've served as a deacon and an elder. I've also on the Lions Club, the Historical Society, and the Masonic Lodge. And I think my experience is very good. I also worked on the 2000 10-year plan. I worked on the 2011 10-year plan. During that time, I've learned a lot, and I hope I've given some to the town. We have grown in a nice manner. We have some business, and we're trying to get more. I know that, but we also need to make sure we work on our housing, make sure we have the right amount of housing for each section. Thank you.
Thank you. And last, we have Scott Fandel.
Yes, I think experience is important. Again, my 7 years on the planning board and my experience in the commercial construction industry. We spoke earlier of 2-year terms, and it takes a while for some to get up to speed once they're elected. I feel like with my abilities and what I already have in knowledge, that I'll be able to hit the ground running and be able to come up to speed really quickly, which is important in a 2-year term.
Thank you. Next question, and we'll address this to Patrick Holton. Patrick, would you describe your current involvement in the Mint Hill community, and would you include your volunteer activities?
Of course. Currently right now, with being a small business owner, I have constant events that involve the community at my store. Not only am I a member of the local Chamber of Commerce, but also an ambassador. So I'm constantly out there supporting small businesses, trying to boost them. Also a member of the Lions Club as well. So generally my plate's pretty full. I might not have the lengthy resume of all these clubs, but the clubs that I am involved in, I'm full in. So thank you.
Thank you. And next, Dale, would you describe your current involvement in the Mint Hill community and include your volunteer activities?
Yes, when I moved into Mint Hill, I immediately got involved in it. I joined the Lions Club. I'm a board member of the Historical Society, and I'm a past master and current secretary of the Masonic Lodge. By doing these different events and being involved in these committees, not just showing up or having your name on a roll and paying your dues, actually being involved and going to the meetings, this is how you find out what's going on in your communities. You get to speak to people, you get to talk to them, and you find out their needs and wants. And you can also explain how the town works and why we have done this and the decisions made. So it's very important, as if you're going to be on the a commissioner or involved in the town, is to be also involved in the public.
Thank you. And Tawana, do you need me to repeat the question?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Didn't think so.
My current involvement includes being an active member of the Mint Hill Chamber, which is seeing businesses come to the Mint Hill area almost every week. I think I've been to a ribbon cutting almost every week, which is great. Also, our church has imprinted Mint Hill for over 20 years. But the pandemic came, we created an initiative called Contagious Love, where we have reached out to numerous businesses, many right here in the Mint Hill area, our schools, our police department, businesses, to let them know that we care about them. And so we have taken supplies, we have taken gifts, we have taken food, because we wanted to be able to let them know that we care about our first-line workers, frontline workers, and essential workers. And we've done that for the past 18 months, and we're continuing to do that. And so that's one of the ways that we've been able to give back to our community. Of course, as the gas giveaway church, we're constantly giving away gas every year. And so we've constantly been able to make an imprint on the Mint Hill community.
Okay, thank you. Same question, Tony Long.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm a member of the Mint Hill Lions Club currently. As I said earlier, I'm a teacher for the past 20 years here in Mint Hill. Volunteered with the Mint Hill Madness before the town took it over, which was a good thing. I'm a small business owner. I volunteer in the public schools as a presenter on small business and economics. Have done that at Myers Park and Independence High School.
Thank you. And Richard?
I would like to say that with the experience and also the Lions Club, all the clubs has taken a hit in the last couple of years with COVID. So we haven't done as much as we used to do. Even with our Masonic Lodge, we don't do as much as we used to. But during the COVID, we've all had to stay home, and it's been kind of tough. But I think during that time, what little we have done has made an imprint on the town itself. I've always, even when I was on all the boards, I've always supported the fire department and the police, and we have to have that. And we have to have a good one, and I think we have a great one in both of them. So I think as far as support and all and helping the town, I think we have done a good job for that, and I think some of it has showed when I was here. Thank you.
Thank you. Scott, how about you?
Yes, and like the others had said, and I stated before, I am a local business owner, so I'm in the community daily. Previously, I was the Little League Commissioner and a board member for the Mint Hill Athletic Association. I've also was a board member for the Historical Society. I'm a member currently of the Chamber, and I sit on the Operations Committee for the Ronald McDonald House here in Charlotte. I am proud to say that I was involved with the construction of the Veterans Memorial for the Korean War Memorial at Veterans Park, where I served as the volunteer project manager for that project.
Thank you. And last, we have Rhonda, same question.
I'm very involved in the community. So for 17 years, the 17 years I've been here, I immediately got my foot on the ground and started working with the community, the PTSA. I'm currently a board member on the PTSA. Not a board member. I had to step down. But I'm a team member. I'm on the school leadership team, or what is now called the school improvement team at Independence High School. We have some great news for our HOA. I'm involved with our HOA in my community as well. We just recently, before me getting here, at 5:30, I had a meeting with the school board. So with Miss Craven, and with the school board, we've got some great news, but I can't announce it now until the October 26th. But yeah, very involved with the schools, very involved with my HOA, very involved with my church. So yeah, very involved with the community.
Thank you. Great answers, everybody. And then the next question goes to Dale. And for you, Dale, how do you address Mint Hill's diverse population to ensure inclusion?
Sorry, you repeat that one more time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. How do you address Mint Hill's diverse population to ensure there's inclusion?
That's a good question. I actually think it's been taking care of itself pretty well over the period of time. We have constantly new developments coming in, people moving in, and I really don't know any other way myself how to do that.
Okay, thank you. Twana, how about you? How do we ensure the diverse population in Mint Hill inclusion?
By electing me to the board, having all, with due respect, all white men does not represent diversity at all. So you do that by electing me to the board.
Okay. Next, Tony, your answer to that question. Should I repeat it?
Address diverse population to include
To ensure inclusion.
inclusion. Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
everybody's
No, that's fine.
included.
I have served as a volunteer with the Guardian Ad Litem system, which is a state court-appointed position dealing with foster children in the past, which took me into homes of different races, different socioeconomic levels. So I practiced on that level. It's been quite rewarding and opened my eyes. And I would say where my small business is, our population of customers is maybe 55 to 60% non-white, if you will. So I'm dealing every day with people from all over the world here in Mint Hill. So I'm very practiced in working with others that don't look like me.
Thank you. Richard, same question.
I think that I have lived all my life by treating everybody equal. And by treating everybody equal, I don't look at what color they are, white or black or Chinese or Mexican or Spanish descent. I treat everybody equal when I talk to them, when I meet them. I think that anybody I meet, you will get that answer from. I do think that Mint Hill has a decent amount of black people, if you want to say that, in nice homes and smaller homes and all kinds of homes. And I don't know how we as a board, without putting something else up in town, apartments or whatever, that we could make it to where we would have any more than we have now. Thank you.
Thank you. And Scott?
Yes. Again, in my business in construction, we rely a lot on minority and diversity. I couldn't do my job if that wasn't part of what we had. As far as inclusion, the town promotes everything we do very well through their website and other organizations. I mean, you can see the Mint Hill Madness banners already up for the event coming in a couple of weeks. So inclusion is by coming to the events, meeting, having the community come together, and operating as one community and not a segregated population.
Thank you. Rhonda, how do you answer that question?
I would agree with Mrs. Henderson on being elected to the board, but not only that, it would be nice to see a little more people of color on the volunteer police or the volunteer fire department, the maintenance team, seeing more while they're out and about on the street, making repairs to the roads. Those are things that I don't see being here for 17 years. We do have diversity in the police department. I do see that. So, but yeah, electing a person of color on the board, and also having, like I said, the maintenance team would be.
Thank you.
Would be great.
And last person for this question is Patrick.
Great question. And for owning a business in this town for 4 years, I've seen a shift in diversity in the clientele that I have coming through my store. So I think there is a definite shift happening right now. It's a gradual shift. I'd be curious to see the actual census numbers when those come out to see where we stand right now as a town. But as far as getting information out, that's something that has bothered me in this term, even before, is how do we get information out? And it's not just about diversity, it's about everything. And it boggles my mind when I'll say something about, hey, there was a concert in the park last weekend. I didn't know anything about it. There's banners, it's on social media. I don't know what the correct answer is for that as far as getting information out, but trust me, I'm trying to figure it out.
Thank you. Next question. As Mint Hill grows, what will you do to address continued community safety? And this question goes to Tawana.
Thank you. I think that as the town continues to grow, we have to be able to look at things that are going to keep us safe as a whole. Fortunately, Mint Hill is a pretty safe town, and so I think we want to keep it like that. I think that's due to the fact that we do have a great police department. We have a great community with great people. And so we live in a community with a lesser crime rate than other towns our size. And so that's an asset for us. I think it's something that we want to continue to hold on to, and I think that the values that we have in this town speak to why there's not a lot of issues like some of the other towns that we see. But I think that the having a sense of community always helps, and I think when we come together, because we are better together. When we come together as one, neighbors are looking out for other neighbors, and we're looking out for one another.
Thank you. Tony, what will you do to address continued community safety?
Yes, ma'am. Mint Hill is one of the safer communities in our state, and I'm thankful and proud. And when I've interviewed people that are new arrivals, that's one of the things they point to. As a commissioner, we'd continue support for the Mint Hill Athletic Association, which is a strong program for youth. And most of us, an idle mind is a devil's workshop, and we need to be occupied. Strong churches, which we have many of them, thankful for that. And just our school programs in general, whether it's Queens Grand, Independence, whatever they may be, things do for the younger population to keep them occupied and feel good about living in this community.
Thank you. Richard, same question.
I would like to first of all say thank you for the police department that we have. We do have issues around our schools, as most towns do anywhere, but our staff at the police department does a fine job of getting the traffic through safely, and I think they'll continue to do that. I don't see any reason it would change. I don't know what we could do to make it safer in that category, but we just don't have a lot of crime to go back on, so it's hard to say what we need to improve on when you don't have the crime before. So I do think that we're doing a great job for safety right now. I don't know who sent the question in, but I would tell them that we are working as hard as we can every day to be safer.
Thank you. And Scott?
Yes, could you repeat the question, please?
Oh, yes, I certainly will. As Mint Hill grows, what will you do to address continued community safety?
Well, I think the key is their continued community safety. I agree with the prior responses that we do have a very safe town. We do have a very fine police department and a very fine fire department. So I think as we grow, we need to be ahead of the curve on making sure that we have the proper staffing for the police department, and we also have the proper equipment and resources that they need, which would include the proposed new satellite fire department out on Lebanon Road, as well as some support for the police department as well.
Thank you, Scott. Rhonda, same question. Should I repeat it?
No,
Okay.
you do not have to repeat it. Continued policing, continued monitoring, ensuring that our youth are not out and about, making sure that police is involved with the youth, maybe putting together some programs for the youth, being involved with school programs, making sure that lighting is efficient. And we're hearing more and more about car break-ins in the neighborhood, so making sure that we have proper lighting on the streets to ensure safety in that arena. But our police department is pretty good. I will admit that they do a lot of monitoring. They go around and check the streets and make sure everyone's safe. So we just want to continue with that.
Thank you. Patrick, what would you do to address community safety?
So a lot of it comes down to growth. I'm glad to be a part of securing the land deal on Lebanon Road to do an extension for our fire department there. So we've got less response time. For everybody that doesn't know, they just got their ISO rating reduced from 5 to 2, which is almost unheard of for a department our size here. The police department just completed the league's law enforcement risk review, which will result in a 14% savings on liability insurance. We've got phenomenal first responders, and there's 3 key words, which is hire, train, and retain, and make sure they've got the equipment and the resources to do their job effectively. Thank you.
Thank you. And Dale, you're the last for this question on community safety.
Echo about every one of the what others have said. We do have a fine, outstanding police and fire department. They both do a very good job. It goes back to Chief Ledford when he was with us, where he started with the coffee of a cop, meeting with the citizens and getting their input, what would be done. And now we have Chief Hatley that's come in and, as Patrick has said, has instituted some cost savings and insurance. The programs he did is saving us on our insurance. Our bigger issue is how to keep our officers. Not to have other towns steal our officers. Charlotte is really big on trying to pull officers from everywhere, from all the other smaller towns. And our chiefs have done a very good job of putting together incentive programs that if they go out and they better themselves, they get better education or training, along that comes with a higher salary.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Twana, next question for you. How do you respond to community members who want to keep Mint Hill the same?
I think you started with me, but I can answer.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Mea culpa. My bad. Tony, that question goes to you, and I'll repeat it. Tony, how do you respond to community members who want to keep Mint Hill the same?
Great question. And occasionally I'll hear that. Not so much, actually, though. I find when I'm in a restaurant or interviewing customers that walk in my facility, the people that want to keep it the same are the folks that have just arrived in the last 5 years. The ones that have lived here most of their lives are open to change, which I find quite curious. So change is inevitable for all of us, and we have some of the largest land mass that's undeveloped, so people are coming. We can't stop it. I'm glad to see it and welcome them. We need young people, we need people middle-aged, and we need the elderly. We need all of us of all races here.
Thank you. Richard, how would you answer that question?
I would say that I do hear that a lot. But like Tony said, it's more from the people that have been here for a long time. The new people do want it to stay the same, but they're the people that's going to affect the change. Once they move down here, they want to make it better. Well, we've been making it better every single year. We haven't done it all in 1 year. We've worked hard as a town for many years to try to keep the community the same. But we have to have growth. We cannot survive without growth. As you get more people, you got to build more firehouses, you got to have more people in the police department, and there's a cost to all that. So we have to address those issues.
Scott, how would you respond to those members who want to keep Mint Hill the same?
Well, I think by people moving in the way they are, it kind of makes you be proud of where you are, and I can understand that sense of wanting the town to remain as is. But echoing the other responses, the growth is here, and it's going to continue to come. So we're not going to stay the same, and we're going to move to the next chapter of Mint Hill. Again, I think that's the point where the leadership needs to be in place that can guide that growth and to make the right decisions to push the town in the right direction and keep people wanting to come to Mint Hill.
Thank you. And now, same question, Rhonda.
I always tell people that it's impossible for anything to stay the same. things are going to grow, things are going to change, and sometimes we just have to be flexible and do the best we can with what we have. It's impossible for anything to stay the same.
Thank you. Patrick, same question.
So I have heard it, and usually when I have these conversations, I try to put whoever's asking that question in the landowner's shoes. And most of the people that own land out here are old Mint Hill, and they're trying to sell it right now. And the days of people showing up to Mint Hill with herds of cattle or horses are over. It's developers that are coming here. And it's us as a board, and hopefully, if I have the opportunity, the future board, to control that as smart growth for the town. Thank you.
Thank you. Dale, your turn. How would you respond to community members who want to keep Mint Hill the same?
It's impossible. Mecklenburg County is one of the fastest growing counties in the country, and Mint Hill is the last town in Mecklenburg County that still has large tracts of land for sale. And as Patrick says, they've held on to this property for years as their retirement. And for us to tell them at the end of their days of wanting to go into retirement and tell them, no, you can't sell your property because we don't want the town to grow, I don't think we should ever be able to do that. I really do praise our early town leaders like the Bob Longs and the Quillen and Jerry Mullis, who made Mint Hill a town and saved us from becoming a Charlotte, where Charlotte didn't come in back in the early 70s and just come in and grow it. I think we've done a very good job as a board and past boards of keeping our town a small town feel. And that is an extremely hard thing to do when you're meeting with developers, telling them you would like to have, you can have this growth, but we want it this way.
Thank you. And Tawana, I guess we're back in order now. Same question.
Well, I think we want to keep the character of Mint Hill. I think the reason that people move to Mint Hill is because of the character of Mint Hill, which is a strong sense of community. And I think that's what all of us love about Mint Hill is the sense of character. But for anything to really progress and to thrive, it has to grow. Anything that's alive is growing. And so smart growth is going to be part of our future, and that's the thing that we have to look at. And I think that we want a place, I think all of us want a place where we can celebrate where we live, where we work, where we have people to visit. And I think Mint Hill is that kind of place. But I think the character is what we want to definitely preserve.
Thank you. And the next question goes to Richard. What concerns do you have regarding Mint Hill as a community? Should I repeat the question, Richard?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What concerns do you have regarding Mint Hill as a community?
I think a lot of the concerns are going to be in our land that we do have, and to be able to develop it in the correct way. I think that's going to be a major concern. If we can keep the housing that needs to be, I think we need to, on the outskirts of Mint Hill town limits in the inner city part, we need to make sure that we're not we put the right amount of housing, but not the small lots. I think we need to get back to a little bit larger lot than that. And I think we can thrive with that and do well. Also, when you get to the outside where you have big parcels, we just need to take a look at them when we do develop them and make sure we do it the proper way.
Thank you. Scott, same question. What concerns do you have as Mint Hill as a community?
Again, as a community, it's growth and how we handle that growth. And as a board and a town, are we prepared to take the necessary steps we're going to need as that growth comes? There's multiple housing divisions that have started within the last 2 years. I think to this point, the infrastructure has been in place to be able to support that. But as we move forward, it's going to take some tough decisions as to how development proceeds, where it proceeds, and how we continue as a town to make the community a strong community and not end up in a situation that we're going to regret.
Thank you. Now we go to Rhonda.
Okay. Some of the problems that I see in Mint Hill is accessibility. I would love to see more sidewalks, us having the ability to get from one area to another quickly and efficiently without having to go on to some of the main thoroughfares. I think we should have more easier access to other areas of Mint Hill. That was one of the things that I noticed when I moved here, is that you only have a few ways to get to a place. So for instance, if I wanted to go to the Harris Teeter, I would have to go out onto the main road to get to the Harris Teeter. There were no cut-throughs. Also the lighting, some of the lightings on some of the streets are very dark. Reflective roads, we need maybe some paint to make sure that we can see when we're driving at night. Modern drainage on some of the streets in Mint Hill. The main areas of Mint Hill have modern drainage, but some of the older ones do not.
Okay, thank you. Patrick, same question.
Concerns I have, that's got to be keeping money in Mint Hill. What can we do to keep people from going to Matthews, to Indian Trail, to surrounding towns? And that's one thing that I've learned in my first 2 years is sewer makes the world go round. And we're getting more sewer lines coming through here. Personally, I would like to see some of our 485 interchanges built, with some of the nicer restaurants and things like that. So not only the residents here in the community can take advantage of them, but we can also get tax revenue from the transits coming through 485.
Thank you. Dale, how about you?
Constantly, I hear from people wanting restaurants, name-brand restaurants and all. That seems to be the biggest concern that I hear from people. And I tell them, if you open it, I'll be your first customer if I can be. When we meet with developers, we continuously ask them about, especially business developers, about bringing in restaurants. And they're always the same answer. We don't have the rooftops yet. We do not have the population for that yet. And in time, that will come. But the bigger, another issue is what we were talking about earlier, is the safety of the town as it grows, to keep our police and fire. We have got to keep those fellas, girls, ladies, we've got to keep them in our town and not have a turnover, and to keep that's the key of our town.
Thank you. Twana.
I think, again, smart growth is going to be important as we look at how we progress into the future. We all want to be able to get around town. We want to be able to get around town and get around town safely. And so I think looking at smart growth is going to be huge for us. And having a commissioner who has the skill sets to be able to deal with, Department of Transportation and all of the agencies, state agencies and local agencies that are necessary, and planners and developers is going to be huge. Also, looking at ways to include the total community. I mean, I think there's a reason why, and it's been said, people should just go to the Facebook page or to the website. Well, they're not. So there's a reason why they aren't. And so we need to look at how do we include the total community in terms of what's happening in the community. Because obviously, I don't think we're doing a good job at that. And I don't think that's any one person's fault, but obviously there's a reason why that's not happening. And so we're not getting the voice of everyone. And then, of course, just having a healthy downtown. I agree, a full service restaurant. So if people come visit you, you can be able to take them out to a full service dinner, maybe a movie theater, and not have to go to Indian Trail.
Thank you. Your time's expired. And Tony, you're the last to answer this question.
And I'll tag on to what Ms. Henderson said there a bit. to have a strong connection with NCDOT because transportation and traffic movement in our town is obviously an issue now, will continue to be with more rooftops and businesses opening. I was on the phone this morning with a DOT engineer about an issue we had here now that's critical. And the other thing is encourage business development, which has been mentioned earlier, to allow people to live here but also work here, which cuts down on the carbon footprint and allows them to stay close to Mint Hill and keep the money here. Thank you.
Thank you. And now a new question, and it goes to Scott. Scott, what skills and experience do you bring to the table to move Mint Hill forward?
Well, I've hit on some of these before, but I think leadership, being a business owner, being the leader of a successful business, experience of being on the planning board, my experience with DOT, with a lot of the entities we keep talking about that we're going to have to deal with. I think all those things are things I'm accustomed to just by what my career has brought to me. So I think that's probably one of my stronger assets.
Thank you. We'll go next with that same question to Rhonda.
Well, as a business owner for over 20 years with experience in an industry of helping others, I also have 10 years experience working as an administrative assistant. Again, a wife and a mother with raising 4 children and teenagers, 2 boys and 2 girls. I have a commitment to my husband, learned a lot with 29 years of marriage, so I bring that experience. I've helped people in the community in schools. Like I said before, the school leadership team, now the school improvement team, PTSA's several boards and memberships at my church and charities and volunteer work within the community. So I bring a lot of experience, about 30 years worth. Thank you.
Thank you. Patrick, what skills and experience do you bring to the table to help move Mint Hill forward?
Well, just like a lot of the others, I am a business owner and a growing business right now that I've built up from when I bought it. But from before I was elected last term, I used to come here to every meeting for 2 years prior to learn and to educate on the process. And I thought I knew until I got in here. And this 2 years so far has been a crash course on what goes on. I'm grateful for the town staff that we have because they are the finest out there and the most knowledgeable, and they go above and beyond. And anytime I have a question, because I'll tell you right now, I am the last one that knows anything, or I'm not the smartest person in the room generally, so I don't have all the answers, but I know somebody here at the town hall does. And they've helped me, so as long as we lean on them and work together, I think we'll be all right.
Thank you. And Dale, same question to you.
Years of experience. I've been into corporate life. I've owned my own business also. And to piggyback off of what Patrick just said, I did the exact same thing. I came here for 4 years before I was elected to every meeting. And also with the clubs and organizations that I've been here in town with, if you want to apply for a job, you should at least know what the job is. And that's what I did. I came here for 4 years and sat in on the meetings and listened and what was going on. And as Patrick said too, then when I got in, it was different. It takes leadership and experience to know how to come in, and you better lean on your town personnel because they are a wealth of information.
Thank you. Tawana, questions for you now.
Well, I'm a member of the Public Advisory Committee, which is the 10-year land use plan, which is helping to shape the future of Mint Hill. I bring strategic planning, organizational skills, forward thinker, team player, bridge builder. I'm a lifelong servant leader, communication skills. I have an undergrad in communications, a Juris Doctor in law, certified personal growth coach, CEO and Executive Director of the New Beginnings Community Life Center. I think I bring a wealth of experience to help take Mint Hill to its next level.
Thank you. And Tony, same question.
Okay, having served on multiple boards, it has allowed me to network and build relationships with people, not only in Mecklenburg County, but in our capital in Raleigh as well. And people buy from people, whether it's politics, business, social, and I've just learned that the folks in Mint Hill want somebody there to get them answers, and I feel I'm qualified to do that.
Thank you. And Richard?
Well, I've worked in the corporate world up to 4 years ago, and I've been a vice president of 2 different companies. Both of them one was $1 billion industry, and one of them was about $500 million. I had to do a lot of different things in the corporate world to make sure that everything goes forward. I had people that worked for me all over the United States, so I know how to deal with a lot of people. I think that going forward, I would be an asset to the community to move forward in the right direction, not just talk about it, but do it. I'm retired. I've been retired for 4 years. 2 years I had some health issues, so that's why I didn't run those 2 years. But now I'm back okay and doing fine, and I would like to get back into it to doing more and more. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll begin now with the closing comments from all our candidates. And we'll go full circle. I guess we're at full circle. We're back to Rhonda again. You're first.
Well, thank you again for having me. I was very nervous tonight. Wasn't able to get everything out that I wanted. I maybe did not attend every meeting, but I did review every meeting via video. With COVID, it did not allow me to see or be in person. So, but I did read meeting notes, and I also watched the videos, and I also read the agendas. But I'd like to, let everyone know that I'm here for them.
Thank you. Patrick, your closing comments?
So most people know me as the Wolf and Elf guy, usually wearing shorts and a t-shirt, slinging dog food in somebody's trunk, and that's my day job. But ultimately, I've planted roots in this town. I care about this town. I care about the direction of this town, and I want to be a part of this town in that direction. Thank you.
Thank you. Dale?
My leadership, experience, and trustworthiness, I will always bring that to the table first. I love this town also. Like I said earlier, I'm from a small town, and I love that small town feel where you can go into a restaurant or into a store and you have people come up to you and they say, "Hey Dale, how you?" And you know them and you can talk about what's going on. We've got a lot still to go. A lot of people are wanting a lot of different things in this town, and they all cost money. So we've got to be able to work with it and be able to pay for it. We can't get it all at once.
Thank
we
you.
will work on it.
Thank you. Twana?
Thank you again for having us. I will be a commissioner who will provide leadership and direction to the town's future and ensure the present and future fiscal integrity of the town and represent the public's interests. I'm a public servant who is called to service. That has been my life of service. I am a servant leader. I am committed to the total community of Mint Hill, and I think that in this next phase of Mint Hill, we will need strong, proven leadership.
Thank you. Tony?
Yes, ma'am. Enjoy the blessings that we all take for granted here in Mint Hill, and I want to see those continue for everyone here and those that haven't arrived yet that are maybe thinking of moving here. It's been a pleasure to serve for 2 years, and I'd be honored for your vote to serve going forward. I'm always available in my business or by telephone anytime.
Thank you. And next we have Richard.
I have served the town to the best of my ability, and plan on hopefully serving it more if I'm elected. I think that I do communicate with everybody well. I work good with the people of the town. Never had one that was really irate at me, but I've talked a lot of them down and got them calm enough to go ahead and fix the problem. And I will do the same in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but not least, Scott.
Thank you. And thanks again for hosting this event. Mint Hill, like I said, is a town that people want to move to. That's obvious. We're getting people in daily. As a commissioner, I would work to try and keep the level of service and the things that Mint Hill brings people to town to try and continue to focus on those items and make sure that people continue to want to come and live here.
Thank you all so much. I wish I could vote for every one of you. On behalf of the Mint Hill Women's Club and the League of Women Voters, we thank you, the candidates. You do a service to your voters. We also thank Paige McKinney for her superb job as timekeeper. And our special thanks are offered to the Town Hall for the generous use of this facility. And last, a special thanks goes to you, our audience. Please cast your vote for the candidate of your choice on November 2nd. Thank you and good evening.